Hello everyone, and welcome to the Gaming Ocean, and today we're going to be covering something very important. This is going to be the basic for this whole section I'm doing on computers called Welcome to Binary. Now, binary code is a system of talking, basically, for computers. It's how computers communicate in a list of ones and zeros. Basically, you can count using ones and zeros. Like, zero straight across would be zeros. 1 would be 0001. Now, this is where it starts getting difficult. Once you use 1, it moves over to the next line. So 2 is 0010. And then you keep going, and every single time you fill up a cycle, you finish it. I'm going to leave it here so you can kind of pause it and look at all these. I counted it from 0 to 15 for you guys, which means that there are 4 different permutations. There are actually 16 different possibilities on this, because there's 4 different lines, and the number of permutations you have is the number of digits. Well, it's 2 to the power of the number of digits. So 2 to the power of 4 is 16, which is the number of permutations I have, because it goes from 0 to 15, if you count to 15. I have something right here, just as a basic, like the number of permutations, or permutations is different possibilities, by the way, and the number of outputs. If you have 1, then there are 2 permutations, which is 2 to the power of 1 is 1. 2, there are 4 permutations, because 2 squared is 2. 3 outputs, there's 8 permutations, because 2 cubed is 8, and so on and so on. So, now that you should have paused to look at this, we're going to look. In Redstone, there's only 2 positions, on and off. We usually associate off, which is how these torches are right now, with 0, and then we usually associate it being lit as a 1. So we can kind of use this in levers and switches to talk in binary, which is how we're going to tell our computer what to do. So basically you'll start with 1, or you'll start with 0, 1, 2, 3, and so on. I did it over here too, so it might just be easier. 1, 2, 3. You get the idea. You can play around. There's a bunch of binary stuff online that you can look at. Now, an important thing for binary is something called a T flip-flop, which I'm going to build for you guys just to make sure you get it. Basically, every single time you hit this button, this lever switches position. So it switches from a 0 now. If I hit the button, it goes back to 1. Hit it again, goes back to 0. And this will be important when we're talking in binary later. First, let's show you how to build one. So first thing we're going to do is start off with here. I'm going to need to grab a piston very fast. And here. There'll be 1 block in between them, and then we're going to have our button on this. And there'll always be a torch down here. Now here comes, we put blocks on top, and we put a torch hanging down from each one, and redstone. So as you can see, this button powers this torch. When this torch turns off, it allows both these torches to turn on. Now, since there's a change in state, they'll automatically change to the state they're not in, which means this one will extend and this one will contract. Note, this doesn't work with sticky pistons. This has to be done with regular pistons. But basically, you can get this to flip. And we build a catch for ourselves to catch our redstone stream. So I'll just kind of have something right here so we can see easily. Now see, this redstone torch is not sending any power up, so this is not catching it. If you flip the block though, it'll turn, and now this torch powers up through this block that got moved over it, out onto this, and then now we have our ones and our zeros that we can flip from. That's how I basically did it here. I'll wire this into the lantern for you. Now, you can line multiple T flip-flops in a row, basically like this. As you put the catch, it'll lead into another torch. The torch goes up onto that, and basically it continues the pattern, and so on. So basically this will cycle. If you have them going into each other, then I have the redstone stream. Each one powers into one of these lanterns. These will count in binary for you. So this is good if you want to learn binary. It starts at 0. If I hit the button, it goes to 1. Now, if I hit the button again, it will go back, it'll turn on. That means this will change, which means these pistons will change state, and it'll change this stream. So it's at 1. Now it's at 2. You click it again, it'll go to 3. Now it's at 4, 5, 6, 7, and now that once all of them are on, if you hit the button again, it will reset it back to 0. Those are the 8 different permutations if you count 0 as 1, because it's 0 through 7. This is basically going to be the basics for computers. I'm going to show you what we are aiming to build once we're done with this. Welcome to our computer. This is a simple 3-digit one, which means this will count to 7. You can see these are 3 T flip-flops. And basically, this counts, and I just built this little digital display. So every single number it goes to 2. Goes up to 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and now it's going to go back to 0, and 0. I also built one right here, which this has 5. So if you remember from the sign earlier, 2 to the power of 5 is 32. Now if you include 0, which this is already at, that means this computer counts to 31. Now keep in mind, this is the size of one that counts to 8 different permutations, but this is the size of one that counts to 32. It is 4 times as big. Every single time you add another amount, or you increase the number, you will effectively double the size of your computer. So they realistically only get so big until Minecraft starts rendering them. If any of you guys from Escapecraft know the people on the server, WTD, Tabeard, and Steve built one that counted to 255, which is a very large one. But I'm going to show you how to build these on an upcoming video. We're going to do a little bit more study on binary before then. But thank you guys for watching. Please remember to comment, rate, and subscribe, and have a nice day.